Thank you note. March 13, 2026. Thank you, Ms. KS. When I stepped in, you were sitting in front of your computer. A middle-aged lady opened the door for me, and I thought she might be your daughter. Later, I saw her help you stand up, and you slowly moved to the sofa with your walker. Only when did I realize she's your caregiver. At over 90 years old, your hands were trembling, which made me feel uneasy. Your voice was very soft. I had to squirrel beside the sofa and lean closely to hear you. Communication was not easy. Little by little, I understand that the downstairs neighbor had been complaining about the noise over the past few months. Why you keep saying that you had lived here for more than 40 years? There's a deep sense of frustration and grievance in your voice. After confirming your needs, I followed the process, brought samples upstairs for you to choose from, complete the measurement, and continue discussing with the installation details. You mentioned that your children could not have uninstalled TV and the computer, so the area around the TV stand and the computer desk were originally excluded from the new carpet installation. I prepared two options, one and A and B. In the end, you choose option A, have the equipment removed so the carpet can be installed more completely. You signed a contract and made a payment. Everything went smoothly. The next day, March 14th, at 8 a.m., you called me and told me that the equipment still could not be uninstalled, and there might be need to switch option C. That evening, I visited again and remeasure and complete the revision of the plan and the contract. In a quiet way, I could sense that you might have spent a restless night, waiting until the morning to make that call. Squatting beside your sofa, with your trembling hands right in front of me, and watching you move slowly and carefully with your walker, I could not help but feel deeply moved. First, what's the civilization? There's a saying that aging begins with the legs. Walking is one of the most foundational human abilities. For animals, losing mobility often means losing the chance to survive. And is it not the same of humans? I once read a true sign of human civilization is not tooth, but the healed leg bones found in the Asian remains. This suggests that humans choose not to abandon those who could no longer walk, but instead care for them. Second, aging and how we live with it. In agricultural society, people were tied to the land. Raising children for old age was a common expectation, and the family often lived together across 3 or 4 generations, stable, familiar, and warm. This is what we might call a relation-based society. In this industrial society, however, mobility has separated families. Nursing homes and the retirement system has become new and sometimes an unavoidable choice. Forms of care that can feel distant and transactional. Industry requires large area of land and a steady supply of labor. People either choose to live or was forced to leave their land, elderly people who lost their farms and now live far from their hometown often worked hard when they were young. In the end, they rely on purchase service for care, a system that can feel impersonal and business-like. They may have spent much of their time and money raising their children, yet later find themselves purchasing care because their children are busy raising the next generation and have limited time to care for them. Compared to agricultural society, which was last for thousands of years, the relative short history of industrial society is not enough to draw firm conclusions. As expressed in Tao Te Ching, muddy water becomes clear when left still. It takes time to see things clearly. Modern society strongly promote ideas like independence and living for oneself. Yet behind those ideas, they might also be force shaping how we think and live. Even capitalist elites may have large multi-generational families themselves while encouraging others to live independently and pursue individual lifestyles. What feels natural and reasonable in youth may become difficult and even painful in old age. Through my work, I have met many elderly people, a 97-year-old gentleman living with his 84-year-old wife, an 85-year-old retired customs officer live alone, and a 73-year-old retired teacher also living alone. Most of them still prefer to stay in their own homes and live near to their children, rather than move into nursing home. This is often people with relatively stable financial conditions. But what about those with fewer resources? Of course, some people choose nursing home because of strong financial support or housing access. Still, living alone is an increasing common, and it is never easy. At the same time, I have also seen very different pictures. In some government-owned housing, 3 or 4 generations live together in a small, crowded apartments. The condition may be limited, but the sense togetherness and vitality can still be strong. For many years, I have held a thought. Is it possible to create a new kind of community for aging? One where the elderly can continue to contribute their experience and value, where young people bring energy and joy, and where the middle generation feel less abandoned. If elder people could only spend their days in front of the television, it feels deeply unfortunate. Is it possible to create a system where value flows between generations, where the elderly feel needed and the younger feel supported and inspired? A place where warmth, laughter, and the connection continue over time. Thank you again, Ms. K.S. Through my interaction with you, I have gained deeper insight and reflection, and I feel even more certain about the direction of my thought and aspirations.